Hey guys, I was feeling a little anxiety-ful about recording a video today, so I figured to just hit record and do it. Anyways, today I was thinking about addiction, if you want to call it addiction. I kind of tried to veer away from that term because I believe it's a societal term that really has some more heavy weight on somebody than it should. But anyway, so I think of it more of a spiritual calling that it was, So my thing was crystal meth. For many years, that was my thing, and it really took me on a trip, as that's what it's meant to do. But when I was around people on it, I noticed that I kept on finding myself getting caught up in a lot of drama with other people, and I kept on noticing a trend with people that they would, that it really took them to a really dark place, and some people would go out and steal stuff and cause a whole lot of havoc on the community, and those are the people that are really making a bad name for it. I'm not saying that there's good in it or bad in it, but with my experience, I really took it on a spiritual level, and I went out and sometimes I would do things for my community, like pick up trash or just keep myself busy in a good setting, I would think. I would also just sit there and just let things come into my mind, because it definitely is a mind and body and soul altering substance. And it was really hard for me to let go of it, because the stuff that I did on it, it was fun. I wouldn't have kept with it if it wasn't as fun as I thought at the time. And also, the reasons why I kept on at it was that I never thought that without it that I could do the things that I was doing and have the same heightened sense of joy. But after years of use, I would go a couple weeks without it to a couple months without it, and I would realize that wow, I really am it doesn't matter whether I'm on it or not. I still, the things that I did and the things that I do are still the things that I do. So, and I like doing it. I like serving my community, and I like and nobody has to know about what's going on. But then the time was coming where I knew deep down that it was time to let that shit go, and so that I could move on to a higher state of consciousness. And it was really hard to do, and I just knew I could do it by myself. I knew that it was something that I would take in and hit that revelation and be like, okay, I don't need this anymore. Well, unfortunately, it wasn't. Divine intervention did step in, and I found myself, really fucking twacked out, and I was more scared of who I was and scared of what I was about to do, or scared of, whatever I do is going to be really fucked up. And and I was stuck in that train of thinking at that moment, and I did something really stupid. I drove out to the countryside, I got my car stuck, and still at that moment I thought I was doing a good thing. I was I can get myself out of this, I can do this, but my car got stuck, and there was nothing I could do about it. So there was other things that went on, but I'm not ready need to mention that. But I, the point of this video is just to let you know that if you are stuck in that, it's okay, but it's not okay. But it doesn't matter what I say to you about it and how you feel about it. It's totally up to you, because it is one of those substances that, grab a thought and it really takes you on a trip. And you can conquer that thought, and you can totally fucking wipe out. There's no in between. So what I'm saying is, do what you love until you're starting to get like this feeling that you're not loving it anymore, and that, and run with that thought that you're not loving it anymore, and stop, do what you can before you end up in a judicial situation, which is what I'm in right now. Well, it turned out that I went and sought help away from my car, and a person in the community called the sheriff because I asked him if I could get a ride back to my house. But he's like, yeah, sure, I'll get you a ride. And he called the sheriff, which that right there was like divine intervention. Nobody wants to have an officer there at that when you're feeling like that. But, and you you try to resist it, and it's just going to get you deeper and deeper into trouble. So, I did. They took me back. I tried to pull the mental state, but obviously I was in a bad mental state, but, I knew exactly what the fuck I was doing, so, whenever the officers arrived to take me back to my house, they knew something was up. They're not stupid, and I'm not stupid. I knew they were up. So, I pulled the suicidal card, but to a point, in that moment before, everything, before the intervention came in, I knew I needed help. I knew that I wasn't going to get myself out of this one. I had so many plans of getting myself out of it that it just all fell apart, and I want to say I followed my gut, but it was a higher state of being that I followed. And I told the officers and everything, what was going on. I didn't mention my use, but I got my car stuck. It's late at night, it's snowing, got my dog with me. I just need to ride back to my house so that I can figure out what to do with my car in the morning and such. And then I stated that I was having mental issues, and I don't want to live. I'm just tired of fucking up, and I just might as well just fucking kill myself, and so I said that, and then I was like, shit, that was a good thing to say, but well, shit, what can I do? It's already been said. So the officers, they took me back to the county, put my dog into the pound, and they did a UA on me, and I didn't resist it. I could have resisted it and stayed there for a couple days for my mental issue, but like I said, it was God's intervention. It wasn't up to me, and I didn't want it to be up to me, because I knew that once I got out of that, out of the mental hospital or wherever they took me, that I probably wouldn't have had that time to think about who I was and what the fuck I meant for, but so I didn't resist. I did the UA, and there it was, and I went to jail. So I spent 2 weeks in jail. I didn't really, I called some people at the first couple of days, because I was just coming down and whatnot. But spent 2 weeks in jail and got out, and miraculously, so the 2 weeks that I was in jail, I was having these major major guilt pains. Like, and those of you that have anxiety, you know what that feels like. You know, it's like you get this feeling like deep down in the pit of your stomach that like, while you're thinking about like what I should have done or what I could have done, or like, you know, like why the fuck did I do that? And all those questions that you ask yourself, like it just like it pulls the guilt into you even more. So, and then you get that pain. It's like an actual physical pain. It's an actual physical feeling, you know. So I was able to work through that pain, and I was able to come out of it on the brighter side, you know, like, and the brighter side being not feeling that physical pain anymore, and having a focused clue on what to do next. So, and then I started writing, you know, because they give you pencil and paper. So I started writing to spirit, just like how I feel. I would actually, you know, I would write spirit, dear spirit, blah, blah, blah. This is how I feel. Like, can you please help me to like understand that I'm going to get through this and that everything's going to be okay, you know? And I did this for about a week, and like the 14th day that I was in jail, I had just written a letter to spirit, and I was just like, okay, this is my plan for when I get out. This is what I'm gonna do. I gotta go get my car. I gotta go get my dog. I gotta go back to my apartment and clean it out, because I mean, like, realize that like this was an end, you know, like I had it in my mind that, okay, you know, like I've lost everything in jail, you know, like I knew that my car was gone. I knew that my dog was gone. I knew that I was about to lose my apartment because it was the end of the month. So I had accepted all of these things, you know, like, because I'd been there before, unfortunately. But, so I accepted all this. I wrote it down on paper, but I also wrote down my plan on what I was going to do when I got out. Even though I knew I had lost it all, but I still had to start somewhere. So I wrote that down on paper, and then I then I fell asleep. And the next thing I knew, they were calling my name over the intercom to come to the door or to the bars, you know, and I went up there and they were saying, hey, the Humane Society is on the line. They're going to put your dog up for adoption. What do you want to do? And I was just like, well, can I go talk to her? So they let me go talk to her on the phone. And I was talking to her, and just the way like they were talking to me, like they were giving me inspiration of like, hey, you know what, your dog really misses you. And I totally understand that, you know, he is the type of animal that, you know, looks into other people's souls and be like, hey, you know, this is what's going on, this is what needs to happen. He's a miracle worker for sure. So I went and talked to her, and it was very inspirational. So I don't know, I was like, all right, well, if you can hold him for 2 more days, I'm going to get out of here. You know, I didn't know for sure if I was going to get out of there, but, you know, I had that inspiration that it was going to happen. So I hung up the phone with her, and I went back to my cell, and I got on the phone, and I called some family members, and, you know, miraculously, like, boom, I got bonded out, and like no rest whatsoever. Well, I was very rested, but I got out of jail the next day, and I went and got my car, and I went and got my dog, and I went and got my job back, and I went and, you know, and I continue to write to spirit, and I continue to be grateful, and I continue to follow the plans, and also I continue to do the stuff that I did when I was high. But now I'm doing it not high, but I am high on a more conscious level. And I was thinking today, as I was walking my dog to the park, and it's cold as shit outside right now, like, you know, I was just like, man, look at all this trash on the ground. Like, how can people be like this? And I got to thinking, I was just like, you know, if I was high, I'd go pick up all this trash, and, you know, like, I'd have the energy to do it. But then right then and there, I was just like, well, you know, like, I'm not high, but like, this trash needs to be picked up. This is my community. I don't want it looking like this. So I shit you not, I spent an hour and I picked up every single piece of trash I saw. And, like there was people there watching me, like people just sitting there in their campers, just like watching me out their windows. But the same thing that people would be doing if I was like high as shit, But, it just didn't it didn't affect me the way it did when I was high. Because when I was high, I would like look at them and be like, fuck you motherfuckers, get out here and fucking help me. Like you're just sitting there and fucking letting trash blow everywhere. But this time out, but not high. I was just picking it up. I was in my own little thing. And, it was a really good workout because I was doing my squatting and bending over. And, and my dog was out doing what he does. And it was serenity. It was, So, yeah. So, there's some information about me and my little deal going on. I'm a little worried about court because ingestion of a controlled substance here in South Dakota is a really big thing, and it's the only state that files this as a felony, which all other states picture it as a misdemeanor. And man, I really don't want a felony, but it's gonna go my way. I'm not gonna tell the judge that I don't deserve any punishment because I'm not gonna tell or force somebody, or I'm not gonna be like, okay, this is how it is, it's gonna be my way or nothing, because it's not like that. But with my spiritual guidance and, all my guardians, I do have the power to shape my own life. So I'm going to take it, one step at a time, as they say, and one day at a time. And when the court date comes, I'm not going to fear what happens. I'm going to be okay with it and let the process go on, So, and the court saw me the day after I got put in there. And they saw me, and they're going to see me on the court date here coming up on the 25th. And, they're going to see a new light. They're really going to see the real me, and hopefully they'll let me talk about it. But I'm not going to try to cover my ass, because I'm just going to be real straight up and let them know. And I'm going to continue my walk of life, and I'm going to continue doing things for myself as well as others. Because the more that I do for others is the more that I'm doing for myself. And it's really hard for me to be like, well, I did this, so you got to do this for me. It's really hard for me to just do things on a conscious level and know that it's good. And I do those things. I always do those things. But when I start thinking about it, I'm like, oh, I deserve, but I don't. I'm reserving what I deserve, and it's not up to me to know. But hopefully they see my light. And everybody knows I'm a good person. Everybody knows I got a good heart. I love everybody. I'm not a threat to my community. But that's what that shit does to you. It really, it either dims your light or it brightens your light to I don't know, overkill. So I don't know. I'm not gonna step into that because I've been there. I already know how it affects me, but it also affects other people in really bad ways, where they go out and they continue to do harmful stuff to the community, which really gives us folks that actually have a head on the game, and we do things for ourselves while doing things for the community, rather than causing a lot of drama, raising a lot of hell. I will never personally look at another addict, or if I know somebody else, and I will not judge them for what they are on, but I will judge them for what they're doing and how they're acting in the faces of others, because that's what you do. But so if you are caught up in any substance that's taking you downhill, know that a time is going to come for it to end, and I really hope that it's easy for you. Feel free to comment or, comment, leave me your leave me like your name or add me on Facebook under Brian Martin, and we can talk. I'll talk about everything. We can share stories, we can laugh and everything, but then we'll come down to a final, like, hey, this is the time of an awakening. There is a huge awakening going on all over the planet in the universe, and people are really, getting to look within, and it comes like quick. And so, stay true to yourself and do fun stuff and know that it's going to get better. But, it doesn't have to get worse before it gets better, and I knew that. I really did know that. So, yep. Hi.
I didn't jump in line, did I?
No, not at all. You're good.
To be fair.
Thank you. Hi. Florence, South Dakota is having their citywide cleanup, and there's a couple bins up here full of stuff that people are dropping off. And so I dropped off some things this morning, and the fire department is here involved, so I went ahead and went and got some Gatorades for everybody, because I know how it is. I mean, it's cold, but hey, electrolytes are good for the soul. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I may get more into it later, but like I said, this video is very touchy for me, and for me to come out and honestly tell the face of the world my life, that's, it's a secret I would like to keep, but secrets are meant to be told, so that's my secret. So, but I love you all, I wish you well, and I will talk to you later, all right? And I'm just gonna post this. I'm not even gonna review it. I'm not even gonna care what anybody thinks. I'm just gonna post it. So that's what I do. All right, peace out. I love you guys.